Hello, my name is Shanta Shelton,
And I am Tamishia Harris.
and this is our best practice presentation. Okay, so for our first part of our presentation, we want to talk about the pronunciation of multi-syllable passage words in our sixth grade language arts. Dr. Archer gave a few points that I took from her video to make sure that you give background information on your words, to also, she segmented the words and broke them up into by syllable. She reinforced the affixes, and she gave a brief description of the meaning of the words, and she reviewed her words over and over again so that it would increase the students' fluency. This will help with our students because our students need to know the background of what they're reading. It gives them a foundation of what they can build on. And when we segment our words in our classrooms, it helps our student understand the word that they're saying. And then when we use an affix and we add words, the suffix and the prefix onto the word, what happens is we create new words for our students. She also gave a brief description of the meaning of the words, which is very important for our kids to understand what words mean so that when they're reading, it flows in the sentence. And then she reviewed the word over and over again, which increased the fluency, which will help our students with their reading retention and rate. So, next slide. I also looked at her video entitled Vocabulary Instruction in Sixth Grade Language Arts. One thing I noticed that she did was she grabbed the students' attention first. And we can all use attention grabbers, especially with our students, to get them to focus by maybe even doing a stretching exercise before we start a lesson, or just something like boom, to get the students to pay attention to you. Okay, she put the vocabulary words and she said you'll put them in your own words, which for our students, we can help them do that here in our special ed classes. That gives them a foundation of, it helps them understand the word a little better. Learning the meaning of a word by repetition, going over and over a word is good for our students because it helps them retain the knowledge of what the word is in their mind. She also talked about using the vocabulary word in a sentence, which really works for our kids because it allows them to see how the word is formed and how it flows along when they're reading it. Also, she demonstrated words through illustrations. By looking at pictures, our kids can gather more of what words mean because they see the actual word in action. Next slide. Okay, Dr. Archer also, this video talked about vocabulary and background knowledge. One of the points or the strategies that she said to use here was to allow students to have thinking time. Giving them time to come up with a correct answer or to formulate their answer is very important. And just allowing them time to think. Also, another point from this video was stating the goal of the lesson, what the story is going to be about at the beginning. This helps our students in our classrooms because it gives them something to go off of and they can better understand what the story is going to be about. She said to also continually check for students' understanding of the lesson by asking questions. This is so important for our kids that we ask questions so that we know that they are following along. Also, she talked about engaging students in the reading process. That's when we guide along in our classes and we may do the I read, you read, and then we read together strategy with our students. Finally, she talked about illustrating words by using examples and the pictures of the words in a sentence. This helps our students, especially when we do things like cutouts. They can take the cutout of the word and place it on the word, and that helps them understand what exactly that word looks like. And now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Tamishia Harris.
Hello, and my portion of the story was about modeling retail for first graders. And she explained that we need explicit responses from the students, maintaining the attention of the students, modeling the retail, monitoring and coaching students, then monitoring and adjusting the lesson. And for me, I can use that because our students definitely listen to the story, but they aren't always able to retell it. So if you ask questions along the way, it gets their minds jogged on how they should retell the story. And I like the fact that she went around to each group, making sure she asked the question, well, what's next? What's next? So what happened next? I really like that as far as getting the students engaged and making sure that they are remembering and retaining that information. Uh-oh, sounds like it's time for you to go. The next slide talks about active participation instruction for second graders. And I really like that she got the whole student involved. So she says active participation for second grade identified other good instructional practices, gave clear expectations, and make sure that the room is arranged so that your students are engaged. So she demonstrated raising her hands, and then they did not answer until she lowered her hands. And I love whole body learning because it definitely makes sure the children are paying attention and they're so excited to answer when they get that clue. So that way, all of the students are participating, everybody has a chance, and they're eager and ready to learn. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and had some helpful tips. And enjoy your day and happy teaching.
Happy teaching. Okay.